My name is Miro Wengner, and I'm so glad to be here and present you my topic, which is called Boost the Delivery Stream, while practicing something that I called uh, code engineering, um, discipl- oh, code discipline engineering. Hey, hi. So I put here my favorite site, Safe Harbor. If I touch anything what may be different than the future Java version, yeah. So please don't blame me, but just for anyone's safety, don't be surprised. So who I am? So I'm for the first place the developer engineer. I really love the Java ecosystem for many years since I began to work for Sun Microsystem at around 2001 or 2002. And since that I fell in love with Java. Not because it's a Java programming language, that was not the case, but actually because it has been originated and planned for kind of control the hardware, which is my other hobby to building robots. I authored the Robot 4J project, we won the award, and we had to postpone the future development, but right now it's getting back to the life. So due to some family reasons. Um, and so then I have recently authored the book which goes practical design patterns for Java developers. And the intent of like why I even started the writing a book was that over the project and the teams I have been assigned to, I kind of realized that the communication was missing and some meetings has been taking so long, and I put all this experience to help into this book to help engineers how they can find their language. Not only the engineers, actually the book is written in that way that even the managers can read it and find the way how they should communicate to the engineers, because this may turn into be the bottleneck too. Anyhow, I right now working for company, small company called Open Value. And who we are actually the group of highly motivated people sharing the same goal, be good and Java JVM based technologies. And not only that, we are located actually in Europe, in multiple countries here, and we are helping our customers, because we are the consultancy, of course, achieve their dreams, right? And mostly on the JVM technology. We provide also the trainings and help with the migration in case they are still the customers, they are running Java 1.4. Well, so yeah, you will be surprised, but actually the cost, there are so many companies running the COBOL, right? So actually the COBOL base is way more bigger than every multiplied Java codes out there, right? On any or language together, probably. So you see, so there are some reasons why they cannot push into the newest version. So, but we are helping them to go there. So today agenda is actually I first just model the environment when we kind of build up our foundation to move forward, and I will be talking about the value, where the bad code, actually what is actually the bad code, and how to go from there to the future or actually to the present of current needs of the business, and how to set it up and how to apply, how to turn all these kind of bottlenecks into the design patterns and into the proper kind of form that allows the company to achieve the goals they have planned. So first, basically, everything I was searching one day and trying to figure out what is the actual cost of the bad code for the companies, and it turns out that there was actually done only one study back to the 2018 by the CFO Council, and they asked the multiple kind of partners and maybe even customers and companies whether share the knowledge what is actually the price. The bad code is not only the bad code like you can imagine, oh, spaghetti code or kind of wrong. No, no, no. The bad code also reside in the DevOps scripts, right? In our YAMLs, and everything. So it's basically everything what is connected, related to the product to put out there and used by the customers. It resides actually in the JavaScript, right? So all these things are back, considered as the back code, and all these level, all these parts are happening the technical depths, right? And all these parts, when they are old enough, they become the legacy. So the engineer needs to live with. Take it or leave it, right? But they have to take it. They would love to keep a job, right? But sometimes it's very hard to work with it. But yeah, that's the part of the game. So, and this, they actually, aside of the side product of the study was the identification that actually 57% of working week for normal developer is spent by actual work, which maybe includes also the meeting. So, I mean, the number 57% of effective work, I would say it's even less, yeah. And and this is the reason like where I've written the book, but I would have to help the engineers. I hope it help engineers to get sleep and sleep well and wake up and be happy to do their job by finding the line how they should communicate with the others. So here, what I've been thinking one day is I simply put everything, all the experience over the years I achieved on different kind of projects. It's not only the finance or automotive. There is some also the telecommunication projects and also some government projects. And so all these experience, it kind of, after I have written the book, allow me to create this pyramid of the project happiness. And I've been thinking, okay, so actually on the X axis is the information span you need to know. I don't know which kind of project you are working on, but what I can show, if the project gets kind of successful, the information span, the domain span becomes very big, right? So, and it's very hard to maintain in the head of one person. Actually, that would be one good guy, right? Never get fired. They would be sitting here forever. Actually, we have some. I met some COBOL engineers. They should retire actually, but they've been required by the companies, so they even work after they should actually be at home because they simply like it. Yeah. Oh, they've been so important for the company, so that they simply cannot go away. So anyhow, so the domain knowledge you have about the project, it's very broad, right? The tooling, it's actually the smaller, right? To that, but it's used across all these domains you have created, and it gets smaller above. If we go to the next floor and the requirements that are coming from our project owners or the business um, owners and so on, there are small features. They are something repeat, sometimes even repeating in the cycle when the project achieved the state when it could be something implemented. And innovation, of course, if we have selected some kind of tooling or platform we would love to have, of course, the innovation is happening. It's a little bit narrowed, right? Of course, I'm even talking about the JavaScript. Yeah, you are not using the whole stack of JavaScript, although you are using probably 100 libraries. So innovation, I know it's even happening every day, right? So still, the parts that you can use for your updating or it's very narrow. So this is why I just put it here. And what is standing above and what can be taken as a generalization down there, yeah, downstream, is the discipline, which what I called, yeah, the code engineering discipline. And this kind of help us to get the focus. You see, you are, when you go into the project, you are working on very small part here, and this is work like in the scope, right? So you don't will be working on whole domain for your company. And this is why I put it here, and on the epsilon axis is kind of impact of the wrong decisions. If you are not able to maintain the discipline across the discipline means also the kind of help communication, it will be projected down there for everything, every steps you are doing. So it will have an impact. So I hope I built the right foundation. And of course, the Java cannot stay behind. And I'm having this cup because we celebrated, right, 25 years of a Java community program, which I take later after what is it. But we have released the Java 21, right? And for me, I mean, I mean, even for you, it's a response, it's a gift to the community. Finally, get get productive feature that are required nowadays. Because business has a little bit evolved, even when you are still running on Java zero point 0.4, some parts, it's just the special parts, that's not all your business that you cannot, but all other parts are kind of require the functional approaches of the solving the challenges that the business are expecting from you as a developer. And this is for me, the greatest breakthrough that that OpenJDK community has been able to deliver. And there are just the more on syntax features, right? Like local variable type and record patterns. And before, if you think, I would put it into the context. It started everything by Java 9. There has been announced the Java platform module system. It has been response by the calling. I know many of you don't like it, and probably never don't want to use it even because it became complicated. But take a look here. So actually, security and maintainability of the project most of the time for big companies is the major question, because you get the certificates, you get the approvals that you can go live, right? It's something like medical stuff. And even right in car industry is happening. Tesla, well, they have this autopilot, right? Oh, there's a couple of kills, right? So, so I mean, everything we get serious, right? About more. We have the autonomous driving. So, I mean, having the security on the package level, who and what should be exposed to who, it's like a gift, and it's on the platform still the Java 9. And I do understand why people don't like it, but I know because it requires some kind of initial thoughts about how my system will look like and how I should abstract and encapsulate my idea, right? And you don't know it most of the time. You don't have the allocated people or resources to do this at the beginning. So of course, then you don't like the Java module system, but it's so amazing. So it started here and it goes to the sealed classes. What the sealed class is doing is they give you the control over your architecture in these packages, right? You can right now kind of say, okay, I will let only these interfaces be used by this part inside of the module. So you see the security becoming to the very big and important part of your project and develop actually code, right? And it's also, which is nice on it, aside of it, it kind of makes a friend, because not everyone can use these interfaces. It's kind of clear who's gonna use them, and it rises up the discussion, right? So which is also nice. The records, of course, we need the immutability. I will touch this topic a little bit later. And what is my favorite is the switch with the pattern matching, because actually this is a breakthrough how to make the Java, how to move it finally to the functional way. I know that there has been streams, awesome, Java 8, right? A lot of companies are still running, but this kind of ability to be able to match the type and I kind of access even the fields from the object that you are right now have referred is amazing, and it can allow it simply give you the power to create the uh, functional code like we used to do in Scala. So here is the short look, how it might look like. There are basically all these features coming from Project Ember that help us to productivity, sealed classes, and so on. This sprints, actually you can use the virtual threads to make it, but you need to put a postponed the production because to print actually the text. It prints the JCon conference because this con is on the t-shirt, but it doesn't matter. So it simply realize how you can use the switch case, get the class, get the type, kind of yield the result, do the transformation here, just for motivation. And let's get this serious. I mean, any of us work on the code, and I've been on so many meetings as you are, and we are just talking about anti-patterns, and yo, there are so many, like this is wrongly poor written and we cannot use it, and so such kind of discussion which leads basically nowhere, right? But they're just time consuming and energy consuming and whatever. So but it turns into, sometimes it may seem that we love these anti-patterns, because if we are under the time pressure from our managements and we need to deliver, of course, what are you going to do? I will fake it until it works and then I push it, right? And so yeah, it's a really normal practice. And also for whatever level of engineering, sometimes we go, it works from me, it works here. It doesn't matter if it doesn't work in the whole ecosystem. It didn't even fit the other modules we are working on. So it's there. I have closed my ticket. Jira is fine. So we go green. So or we fix later, but when, right? So, and most of the time the crucial stuff is the point is that this code is becoming to be test free. Well, not really tested. So that means actually what we do under the hood, we increase the prices of the project through the maintainability, because this is not possible to maintain. And actually we do more. We are not able to address the issue on the meetings to communicate with our colleagues, even when we like them. Yeah. So that means, yeah, well, we simply limited ourselves at that meeting becomes to leading nowhere, because we don't have the similar language. We don't know the topic where we to discuss, right? So I have defined actually where reside these anti-patterns in the code. They reside in the requirements. They are not necessarily all bad. I mean, they are very natural. Nature. They happen when we migrate, for example, even the Java version to the other, right? There has been implemented already some changes into API, like a switch case. So that means if we upgrade to the new version of Java, some of the solution we already have there inside of connectors or adapters, so they become to be obsolete. So you see, they become automatically to be design pattern, because there is a way better representation to do this, and we will see it in a very short moment. And this is simply on this code level, which are the requirements coming from our POs, really allocated to our domain where we are working on. It's like building a Lego, small stuff, you know? And it seems like all works, right? Like these small Lego cars, like I have here. It's not very perfect, like the car you see on the street, but it looks like very perfect, you know? Still like a Minecraft car, right? So, as I said, you get more, because then you go to your domain knowledge and you need to kind of make this stuff work all together, right? You kind of do try to implement the another design patterns which are referring to your kind of goal you would love to achieve. But what happened then is all these little mistakes or bottlenecks or kind of depths you have already implemented, they still work together. Like if you're trying to build a model OSGI so far, right? So you go blow. So, and even in this architecture anti-patterns that they are reside there, some of those, it's very question whether they are good or not good. Like a golden hammer, you know, sometimes you have really old technology that have not been updated. You are talking to very old system based on the COBOL. So there is not much evolution on connectors on it, and the system behaves same. So I know it sometimes it even these golden hammer patterns may turn into be very effective way to do this. So this is what I'm saying. It's not always that way that code needs to be changed because of anti-pattern, but you need to be very careful about the dead end when these kind of old approaches may turn impact on your project, that you will be simply not able to move from Java 1.4. Yes, so that's the deal. Right now, you need to find the balance, and what is actually helpful in such cases is the one magic stuff I will mention in the next slide. So The other anti-patterns, which is independently on the languages you are trying to use and develop on the JVM, like Scala, Kotlin, and so on, Java, they all are probably affected by this fact. They don't necessarily be affected because of the syntax they provide, but they've been affected because of libraries you use under the hood. Yeah, and this code, although this code may look like very pretty, right? We have just even the record pattern. Take a look, just immutable, perfect. Oh, there's an int value. You can go just kind of util class. You do some logic with it, and simply detect the alarm in the car whether it's there or not. But as the Abby Warburg said, as was the historian, the architecture historian, and he said it. He is actually noted by the Wikipedia that he said this kind of sentence as the first at 1866. Der liebe Gott steckt im Detail. The Americans, they take it and devil is in detail. Well, they choose just different approach, right? But the point is here. So even this nice looking code here has a very serious issue, and this is the autoboxing, right? So you don't get it right, even in this particular case, yeah, the performance, actually, I did this measurement, it doesn't matter when it oscillates, right? Because the actually chunk of the memory you are trying to allocate and then free up and compact, it's so small on this that there is not really noticeable difference between doing it right and doing it wrong, yeah. But the point becomes serious when you're using the bigger libraries and connectors like, for example, Kafka, and so on, and you have a bit of nice object and many JSON file and transformation and so on, and kind of these kind of issues with the autoboxing may cost you some money on Amazon, which you notice when actually your check is kind of oscillating increasingly, of course, around some number, yeah, and then you start to panic. This when some developers see this, okay, well, we have doing something wrong, and okay, what we do wrong, we don't know, yeah, because they are not aware many times that actually when you use the collections, right, here, that actually the way, because collections reside as an object in a heap, right, actually the primitive values reside in the stack, right, so, and they need to do some transformation, of course, each time it will be casted to the big integer because the collection defines by big integer, by these wrapper classes, not by the primitives. So if you fix this integer, so you see you are free and you get the free space. It's very friendly to JVM. And this is the part, your awareness of the toolkit when you see the pyramid. And this is just a small part because it goes farther, right? Because then platform is collection of the libraries or tools that you are using it, and most of them probably are based on the Java, so it goes farther. So the other stuff here, which are also not, there is no language resistance about it, is on the JV, is the selecting the proper collections. So in many cases, the array list is the great choice for the first shot. Great choice because it actually, you are in the first source using the very small set. Actually, the performance between having the hash key, even the map and calculating the hash key will be slower than this. Yeah. So even array is even the better choice. Yeah. Many times. Just the simple array with all these generated helper methods that arrays have. If you take it in performance, but it becomes to be very not nice if actually your implementation, your collection becomes to be the bottleneck. Basically, any request to your API has to go through this method which reside in the array list, right? All others will be waiting. The thread will be postponed, so perfect. The maximum event goes here. The whole credit goes to this here, to this array list. But this is not what you want, right? Actually how to do the kind of nice behave application is to distribute your work kind of equally. Like I like the normal distribution, right? There will be always kind of peaks. And actually normal distribution is used internal JVMs to doing the statistics. So actually what it's about is that you are aware that the bytecode is each time translated into the into the into the instruction, the platform instruction. So this is happening each time, and here is coming the optimization, and then can be new compiler run based on these statistics that are residing here. Yeah. So and this is where the Java JVM is so powerful technology, and sometimes even way more faster. That's so we simply change to the hash set, and we get just the pretty kind of nice distribution of the work. This kind of anti-pattern is called the toast now. What I found out by working on multiple projects on the different kind of industries I already mentioned is, I really seriously, like when I entering the project as a consultant, my interest is about the kind of pattern they choose for the naming, how they maintain. Yeah, because of course I'm not aware about all these domain, and only what can give me some hit or what can me push to understand what they have already done and where they actually need a help is kind of figure out which kind of naming pattern is used across the teams or in the teams where I'm located right now. And this is like a Stargate, yeah, when I find it. Then I know how to talk between them. You know, and many times if you have it on your project, you can do really like a drastical shift forward with anything what you have already. It's like a mind-opening moment when everyone agrees. I just right now last days I have been experiencing this like a mind-opening with the team where I'm working right now, and it has a dramatic impact on the performance. So this is why I'm mentioning there. And then you go to follow the API. Okay, IPy, they say it, but I just intentionally take from 9 days because right now we go functional, right? So if you are not able to encapsulate your idea, what you want to do, right? Of course, please don't abstract this, yeah? Because abstraction at the first moment, if you do abstractions, it may turn into this nicely called anti-patterns that I called, and that will be very hard to get rid of them, especially when you need to maintain the project for the long term. Okay, so encapsulate your idea, kind of make an inheritance, the interfaces here, because you would love to evolve, right? And evolution is there, you are just not doing a one-shot project or one-shot code. And then you can apply the polymorphism because it kind of pop up out of this, and due to this naming proper naming pattern, it really pop up which kind of design patterns you should use at the beginning and how you should then where you should go in the future. And then when you have all this please then generalize, abstract. Don't do the generalization at the beginning. Just make sure that your idea is crisp and properly encapsulated, and stay solid on your journey. Yeah. And as you see, I have these exposed what is required. There is a single responsibility principle and so on. It's kind of matching the same cycle, right? And we love cycles right now because we are all working with Jira, and everyone has Scrum, and everyone is agile, right? And everyone wants to do the progress in iteratively. No one is waiting, okay, I gonna work 2 years on this magic application, and then I guarantee that in 2 years my company get rich out of it. Well, that's not happening these days. So this is why I fit also the solid into the cycle, because it also, again, the anti-patterns evolving, they are natural, and it kind of help apply the solid principles iteratively on your project, on your sprints, because changes are not happening at once. They are continually progress. And what is the I do repeat, just think about this, don't repeat yourself, stay dry. Well, you should drink the water, yeah, during the coding, but don't repeat yourself, because this is the other wrong naming and repeating is the beautiful signal that you should like really use. It's a challenge. Okay, I have it, so I should address the issue. It's a moment when you can address something and create a meeting about it. So are we sure that it's achieving our requirements? Oh, sorry, I was so motivated. So that means actually that the coding standards are inevitable. They reside and we will be asked, and we as a team, when we try to find them over those meetings with something boring. And just what help us, as I already mentioned, never repeat yourself and make a meaningful naming. There are, of course, some clean code books, best practices. You can read the internet. The funny thing on this, the best practices kind of different. Yeah, it depends who writes it, which kind of company he worked for, which kind of project he worked for, and then the best practices are coming from there. So it's still reminding this discipline at the beginning, which is communication right now, to make a proper naming and kind of never repeat yourself. It still reminds independently what kind of thing. So this is why I kind of reading these books. It makes sense, yeah, but still, please maintain those two steps, and it helps you to go out from many challenges you solving right now or you're gonna solve, and start build something useful. Don't start big. That's the other stuff. And use actually the design patterns, right? I wouldn't say use. I wanted to say use design patterns. No, by practicing this, they come out of the box, out of the naming. So, and this is what you want. So this is how we learn the language. We are not thinking when we're speaking English or whatever, German, oh, which kind of word right now like should use. It became natural, right? Due to the fact the responses from outside. So, and this is what we would love to achieve, right? Because then you have kind of symbiosis between your colleagues, and you have kind of meaningful meetings, and you are actually enjoying them. So you find a way how to address the issue. You found a way how to identify the challenge you have, and that's all, right? Because then the meetings you were not sleeping, but you are just awake because you would like to participate in. So I have the creational patterns. They start at the beginning. I mean, this is the one thing I have on the other presentation. This other way around. I started with concurrency patterns, but actually by working on several months on other project, I realized, okay, it's better to start with the creational patterns on the presentation. The reason for that is that if you don't have under the control where are you creating the object, whatever language you use, I mean Kotlin, Scala, right? Java right now it begins to be useful. It was useful again, but anyhow, I'm talking about the creation of the object creation instantiation of the classes becomes across the code from one particular classes. It's not good. So and that was what I'm saying. Like if you get this under the control, like you can start with the factories and so on. So it's very simple, right? It depends to build a pattern. Okay, I will talk about this on different languages. We start with Java and build a pattern. Build a pattern gives us the possibility to actually kind of prolong the object creation across the methods, right? So we are not kind of required to make it on the one place. We can just pass this through the method, even when we don't know the abstraction on patterns. So we still have a builder, and we know because we even by doing this enforce the immutability. Whatever Java language you use, yeah, you can still do this. Of course, it becomes to be easier when you upgrade to Java 21 because you get like some additional features, right? But independently, you can still do this in the old version. And I have here created just the vehicle with the two parts, the cabin, and create a kind of feeling of the builder at cabin. And I have done the same thing in the Scala. Right? This is actually the same stuff here with the public static final and so on, all these. And there is a builder because in Scala also I need a builder. I know that I'm enjoying this kind of functional way and manner, but actually if you enjoy functional way of functional background like functional way of Scala programming too much, yeah, it's turned into that you will produce a lot of nice functional code written on the one line, but you are not able to maintain, and next day, even you nor your colleagues, they don't know what is happening, right? So sometimes you need a builder. And sometimes it's very smart to do this. So I have done here, you see the copy. Basically, code looks very same, right? Of course, in Java, you don't have the uh, public private static final, so you need to do the companion object, right, to do this. That the part has the here empty part is like the constant here, but it looks almost the same. Then Kotlin, the situation we have almost similar, right? Right, the builder patterns look similar. You can use it into the streams. You can use it. So here with you just apply. But like bytecode wise, I mean Java remains still the first language for JVM. So okay, I can show you the bytecode later. So it's like way smaller. Actually, the second smaller bytecode is Scala, the first compilation, and the third bytecode, like Kotlin is the third. So someone needs to be at the end, right? So it's a big bytecode, twice, maybe 3 times bigger as Java. So, but that's the other topic, right? Actually, a representation which we need to maintain is this one. So another case comes with the factory method. And you see the factory method and these new features, the power features that right now Java has, that makes a big difference. We were not able to write this kind of pattern in this way in the past. It was too much code, actually. And if you ask some unexperienced guy, it was sometimes too much to him to write it. But anyway, whether we achieve it or not, it was way more code than right now. So, and you see, you can go directly to the direct object, to the type, and you can ask the property. And the funny thing is, it was always there, you know? Might go right. We had this information. It was still not implemented. But that was nice, just request from the community. It was so strong that it becomes to be real also in Java. And I think I wouldn't say it was too late, because simply industry, as I said, some companies are still not really able from various reasons to update. I think it's never late and they are on time. Right now we do have it. And even when we do have it, I mean, it takes companies still take a while to get on the 21. I'm not talking about high technology companies, right? They are already running this. So, but some smaller industry like automotive and so on. So, in Kotlin it looks like this. It's kind of same right now. I choose one of these approach. You see here the if statements. It's here. So in this kind of case, I would say, oh wow, Java came with something better, although they have been inspired. Someone is saying they've been inspired by Kotlin or by Scala. Yeah, I don't know where is it true. Yeah, but if I see it right now, it's kind of very similar representation. If I go to the Scala, wow, that's again very nice, very compact, like almost the Java one, right? Because you go to the default case here and trying, which was not the case for the Kotlin when you have to check 2 cases. Nice. And if you have the control of your object creation, which I would recommend you do first before you do any other refactoring, you go to structure. So you can create the adapter, and with new power feature in Java, it becomes to be like a fun doing this. Less code, of course. When you have a less code, less to maintain, and more kind of wordful discussion about what we have actually done, right? So it makes sense. I mean, to update if you have the opportunity to do this. And as you see, you have here the sealed classes, as I said, that you don't have it in Kotlin and Scala, kind of enforce the architecture, because you may have in team some smart guy who does actually assign the role as an architect, and he would love to maintain his idea across his being on this project, right? And he can enforce it on the package. If you have a module system, and not even if you don't have a module system, you refuse to use it, you can still enforce it. Yeah, so this is so nice, and it really again helps to address the issue by using it. So also facade becomes to be nice, and so on. We can go to the behavior patterns, and the one thing is all these patterns Yeah, backwards they are coming due to the fact that you have stopped repeating yourself, applied the proper naming which you accepted as a team, yeah, some kind of syntax, because when we live, for example, in Germany, we accept all of us German grammatics, right? That can be kind of reference. So I know we were living in USI, so we accept that we have an English like a language, like a reference language, even when there are so many other nationalities, right? So, and this is the same. If we are on the project, we can kind of accept this kind of naming, and we're gonna enforce it, and it makes a difference. And it will be like a building a Lego. I really love Lego. I'm building it with my son right now. So, and command pattern, it's really like what I'm showing right now. It's everything what is coming out of the box because of you have applied this kind of code discipline engineering, what I call it right now. You understood the project the happiness pyramid, what I have published before, and everything is really starting to popping up afterwards, and everything you will be able to achieve. And even I'm not saying that you will be achieved faster, because still there will be obstacles you need to remove, even when you say one way or the other from various reasons. The libraries you have used, there could be some security leaks on the libraries. We know log4j2, right? Or some other. So who saw the code that has been responsible for the issue? Like, well, probably it would never get into some kind of production code, yeah? But there was no one just reviewing it, right? So it happens. Yeah, this is the fun with the open source. But anyhow, so this comes out of the box. You see all these names like caching and so on. I'm giving by using these feature the names right now. So that means when I'm giving you something the name, I'm able to call it, so I can go to the meeting and start a discussion, whether it's a good approach or not. And please, I know there's so much fun with concurrency. Yeah, there are something. I know when I was on a Kotlin project, people love the coroutines. I figure out some bugs there. So when I try to address certain JetBrains teams, so nothing is bug free. So, but please don't go into the concurrency when you don't have creational structural behavior pattern under control. Because if you go there, so I mentioned those two kind of garbage collection patterns due to autoboxing, but you will observe some way different behavior, which is not even predictable, which costs a lot of money if you are running in a cloud. So there are some kind of improvements on the Java, right, related to the threading, like the virtual thread. But I know there are people excited about this and just saying it's a great breakthrough how to utilize your hardware, your CPU cycles, right? But actually, what I'm normally facing, even with a hard performing application, is it needs to be calculated properly the budget. So we have the window where some information needs to happen. They are responsible for that, and actually giving all responsibility to virtual threads, which kind of in the peaks like utilize everything, right? it will it will not help us, because in one it will be like local improvement. But the local improvement is not like a worthful if you don't counting on it and expecting this in other part, right? So this is more damaging in many cases where I'm working than simply having um, implementing some kind of bulking patterns when you have actually, in this case, 5 drivers. You still have a one car, even when you have virtual threads, you have still one hardware, yeah. So there will be no more CPUs. So what is done is second scheduler, which is resided in JVM, but it's allocated to the thread, right? So the one thread is reserved for doing this scheduling on the level, yeah. So this bulking, you will still have a one car, and you still need to kind of calculate who will be driving and when this one car, and you have 5 drivers. So bulking pattern will be used. The virtual threads are not solution to many problems. Of course, they can utilize the hardware, but the nice thing is you need to remove the fork join framework, which is responsible for the carrier threads. Yeah, but there's a trade-off. Like, just think wisely. It's a great piece of technology, but think wisely. It's a concurrency. And there is a read-write log pattern. So in the cars, most of the time, you have many sensors, right? And you have a lot of kind of consumers of this information. So that means if you here apply this new feature like a virtual thread, and you will be able to create millions of threads. Okay, there will be still one sensor measuring this, right? So you will kind of do anyhow log. Yeah, it doesn't matter how much threads because you will have limited amounts of sensors they need to consume this, right? It doesn't matter if it comes from the right or left or from above and bottom. So these kind of patterns will be still there and they will require the proper scheduling of your action on the JVM. If you use this kind of uncontrolled threading stuff, you kind of not doing favor to yourself, but you are kind of damaging the architecture. You need to be entirely sure where to use which kind of technology. And this helps you again by practicing these naming and so on. It will pop up the pattern. So, conclusion, I just present you the pyramid of focus on healthiness of the project, which is kind of, I hope I give you some other way how to look at the pillars of the object-oriented programming, and functional is the subset of it. How to think about the challenges you're gonna use solving, and how to stay solid all the time, and how to kind of enforce by discipline. What was on the top of the pyramid is really meant how to be kind to colleagues. Yeah, because the way and kindness is also respect is also one part of the project success, and kind of self-happiness, like getting up happy. And these new features which has been published in Java, so they will really help to reduce the verbosity and kind of highlight your actually goal from the code. And please, if nothing you take and everything forget, don't repeat yourself, stay dry, and maintain the naming standards you decide. Thank you very much. And right now, I have two books with you. Okay, I have one question, yeah? Who will be first? It was written on some of the slides there. And those who already have, like my colleague, the book, he cannot participate on this. So, what is the default garbage collection in Java 17? Okay, try to get. Okay. Okay, who said?
J1?
Yes, it is not only in 17. Yeah. So I give you, I write you some dedication, and okay. The second question. Okay, I just wanted to ask you, what is your favorite Jack group in Munich? Okay, so how many people are? Okay. Let me think. That would be then. Okay, I have another question. Right? What is? Okay. What? How we can access actually? Well, what is the issue with the record class when you create the builder? What do we need to take care of when you use the record patterns to create a builder? Because normally, okay, I cannot continue. So how it will be visible the rest of the classes when the class will hold the builder itself in the way like I did here? What may be the challenge with such a builder here? So, okay, it's written in Scala, so I will go to Java. Here.
Return this.
What?
The return of the object itself.
Oh no, I will imagine that here instead of class is written the record here. Yeah. So there are the requirements with the builder needs to have, right? And something which is related to constructor.
You cannot modify it, right?
So?
There's a limitation, you cannot modify it.
No, it's something with a visibility.
Uh-huh.
Which kind of constructor the records have? Yes, exactly. You've got a book. The record by the definition has always public constructor. By the definition, that's why they enforce the mutability. And this may turn into be the issue when you actually would love to expose only the builder and not hold the class, right? So, okay, you want the book. Yeah, I hope it will be helpful.
Yes.
And you work also as a developer?
Yes.
Wow. I'll come to me then after. I will write you the dedication. Wow, thank you. Okay, I have some other. Okay, the JCP t-shirts, and I don't have all. You see right now my when I was taking all these t-shirts, I have not for everyone. So, but I don't know which size I do have, and I have more. I try to. I don't know what would be the the distribution, the fairest distribution of these. Okay, I have something with some stickers. So, what kind of game you would love to use to choose the proper winner? Oh, okay. So still trying to find. Okay, that's basically maybe all. The rest I will find somewhere. Okay, here. Okay, so I will ask. Who has concerns here? Oh no, it's okay. Who used to develop in COBOL? Okay. So which size you have?
M.
M. Cool. Okay. Cool. That's one for you. So.
Okay.
Actually.
Thank you.
And you?
XL.
XL. Oh, XM doesn't work. Okay. I hope I have one.
But I'm not very proud that I programmed in COBOL. So
I'm proud.
I'm doing Java since
Come on.
more than
Hey,
20 years.
You are the luckiest.
Thank
Oh,
Java is the new COBOL.
I'm way younger, and I also worked in COBOL for 4 years, and I learned COBOL when I was at the Sun because of banking system. So, it's nothing wrong. I'm kind of proud. Okay, so who is? I know everyone is using. Who is working with Kotlin? Here. Okay. So, which is your size? So you should turn into Java 21. I'm not forcing you. I don't know whether you know the Java community process is what it is. I just give you. It's kind of, for me, and I understood it when I joined the farm. It's kind of way how the Sun in the past enforced the open source, right? Because everything is limited. So community get the chance to contribute on, in these days, kind of secure code and make the request. And it's happening from 2018, 89, well, 1998, 98, yes, well, sorry, the dates just corrected, 98, yeah, just a few years after the release. But it's running all the time, and the fact, what is so beautiful on Java is every step, every decision is documented. And this is like the power of Java, because it doesn't have any, many ecosystems doesn't have it, right? Each step or decision, and they are especially required to develop, for example, some kind of medical stuff, or something which is running on the space, like the shuttles. Maybe even Elon Musk should think about his autopilot, right? Maybe it is running a Python. Oh, nothing better than Python. So, who said? What is your size? Yeah.
M or L. Or M.
Oh, you are happy I have M? Because I don't have a L? Is it? But it's a big one.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And who is here? The JCP member. Here. Okay, cool. But I have only M, and you are using a grammar.
Bruno has one.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So, but I can give you some stickers that you probably don't have. So you can get one of those. Yeah. Okay. I can give you also. Did you get T-shirts or something?
Okay.
Yeah. So I have two more, and I have one. Okay. Alexander, do you have any question you would love to ask your audience?
What kind of presentations do you wish for the future?
Like
maybe like using new features or like doing some refactoring, like changing the old code to the new one, something like that maybe.
Like live coding?
Not like live coding, like
Or live refactoring?
yes, some sort of a refactoring ideas, like we build this, like say this pattern this way in old way, and now by using this feature we can reduce the code or something like that. Okay. Yeah, maybe.
Well, would it be like how we had, for example, some libraries, right, running on OpenJDK, and that has been shifted into the module system. They're using a module system, and with the shifting into the module system, there has been the change in required in the providers, actually, in build departments, and so on. So that would be the kind of presentation you would love to have, like how these progress actually happen and why. Like,
Not sure.
not sure?
Because like when we adopt, adopting is one thing, like you run something on let's say 21 or whatever, but the thing is like to incorporate the new features, right, in a better way, and to get value out of it is something I think could help many.
As I tried to maybe I was not precise enough. I tried to like express, but what I say, because the reason why we moved from Java 8 to Java 11 on particular libraries was exactly this. Like one was module system, and one of those was actually in the Java 11 features that have been with the switch according and so on, and some improvements. Okay,
and
so
some vulnerabilities also, like
what? Yeah.
Some you obviously resolve some sort of vulnerabilities, but vulnerabilities usually they change in, like from minor versions they do that. In major versions they come up usually with the features.
Okay. Okay. Well, nice. So, but you have already one. Okay. So you need to ask one. Ivan, do you have a question for audience in mind? I'm out of the question, but I can like question.
For audience, no. Actually, I have maybe for you.
Okay, good.
It's not exactly a pattern, but what do you think about anonymous classes? So I work on a code base that has 200 anonymous classes.
Well, they serve the purpose, but okay, so that means you work with Lambda. There are so many anonymous classes created. So anyhow, these anonymous classes, they still live in the young generation, right? They will be garbage collected. Actually, if I see here, this, right? This is really like intentionally done, really stress, like back pressure on the garbage collection. So, I mean, this does not have any impact, like compare when you do it right. When I got array the garbage collections, right? In many cases like this. In many cases, when you're using a lot of lambdas, it's actually good. They will go garbage collected. Yeah, so there is nothing wrong in it. The problem comes, right, when you actually want to reuse. And this is where you need to actually implement the interfaces in order to not make from the anonymous way to go to be present to let's go serious, let's raw. And you need to implement those interfaces in reusability manner. And you can then still stick them. That they have names. Actually, if you don't do this, yeah, so the JVM is not able to optimize it. So in the JVM, we have implemented some code inlining, yeah, and so that cannot be spotted even after second compilation. There needs to be created a statistic. Actually, you need to run way longer the application in order to be identified. Okay, this will go into the second compilation. Yeah, and it still depends then which kind of compiler you do have, which kind of Java version you are running that is able to identify. For example, well, the Azul. I'm not doing a promotion to Azul here, but Zing actually has very nice performance on working with primitives. Yeah, the C4, but it's not available for if you don't pay, right? So and the same thing here. So if you would love to produce the code friendly to the JVM, so please apply the proper naming that you kind of extract these kind of behavior out of the out of your streams, and then just reuse them. This is many times, I know it doesn't make a sense. If it is simply no allocated feature, you will simply create more code. But like, think twice. Yeah, in Java, is everything done by the reference? Yeah, if someone tell me, okay, just I'm not doing a proper naming, I'm calling everything xb24, yeah, because I would love to save the bytes. What for? You know, this guy gets anyhow reference, right? So which you are not able to read anyhow. So if you are like do this, yeah, you just hitting yourself in the back. So there is no way and no reason why do not maintain some kind of agreed naming, like the German grammatics that we agreed to use in Germany. Although I'm speaking right now English, so sorry for that. But yeah, please do the naming. And if you see the pattern that you repeating yourself, because I saw it so many times in the code, like, hey, this is the same function used in the streams. So many times it's just like a hell repeating, and it definitely not go optimized, you know, because the streams is just a one way, you know, like it gets this target when you call the result. So please extract it. Don't repeat yourself. Enter the naming. That's it. 2 steps.
Yeah, that was what maybe my biggest concern, also the naming, because I see a bunch of blocks of code unnamed. Okay, sometimes there are 2-3 lines, sometimes 6, 7, 10.
Yeah. The funny in automotive, well, I saw the naming, like there was a class, like object created to identify the position, and one was the extrapolated, one has been kind of real one and compared, but both of them they called like x1 and x2. Well, cool. That was nice, because I actually found out this fact that one is calculated and one is extrapolated. It comes from different kind of project part of modules of the project where it has been named, but it's really light under the bottom. So you see, but there has been decision created above this x1, x2, which leads to misleading conclusions. Yeah. So and then we have Elon Musk and some guy killed with his autopilot, which I don't. Well, it's nice to have it, but well, I still not fair.
It's
Like,
not proper named.
yeah. Well, no. It may happen, you know. We have some with time zones issues. Time zones is a representation of the time is also crucial, although it's store it long, but it depends how you store the long type. Yeah, and if you don't have your time under control across the modules, then you probably don't have any control over your project. Yeah. Okay. So this is the other stuff. Please extract it when you see it. Don't repeat yourself. This is like a magic word. Okay. So I have I give you. You can put it on your laptop. Oh, okay. Who wants to? I just randomly. I'm doing you. Oh, here. You're the winner. I just make it really randomly because I haven't seen. So, okay, I have still 2 T-shirts. So, okay. I know. Have you seen already before some of you this kind of research that has been done, the value of the bad code? No, I would love to have a even company that we get this, 300 billion a year. Like, there's a bunch of money there, right? And it's only in the US. So wow.
What I work with a lot of times is diagrams showing how many of the software projects fail.
Yes.
It looks a bit like this.
Well.
So you have I don't know, it's a number like 70% or so.
Yeah.
60% do not meet the target, the cost targets.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and you can even say I think half of the projects they fail completely.
Yeah,
More than half, yeah.
I mean, they probably changed. The naming has its power, right? Just kidding. I don't know why they failed for various reasons. Yeah, but yeah, well, yeah. The definition of failed may have also the positive result. Sometimes you would love to fail. to follow too much.
Yeah.
Yes, fail forward. Yes, yes. Okay. Do you have the size is an M? If
Yeah,
not,
that's fine.
yes, really. Wow. Well, I took the good size. It actually polluted my bag.
Oh, don't worry. Thank you.
Okay. And I have one more. Okay. Do you have M? Yeah. Oh, we should celebrate the 25th years of the Java community process.
Can I maybe ask a question?
Yes.
So you showed this sealed class or sealed interface example.
Uh-huh.
And actually, think the difference between how sealed class is implemented in Java and how sealed class is implemented in Kotlin kind of confuses me. Like in Java, it is more restrictive. Like you define who
Yes.
can implement or extend it, and in Kotlin, it's like I don't know, different
Well,
purpose
yeah.
maybe for unique pattern matching, exhaustive, else, whatever. So who is doing it right actually?
Okay.
Is it in English?
Nein, das ist auf Deutsch, aber das ist gut, wir sind in Deutschland. Manchmal, ich versuche ja auch auf Deutsch zu reden. Okay, so, I mean, in Kotlin it was introduced and it served this purpose, probably similar, and in JDK we decide, and it make more sense to make it restrictive, not so kind of free, right? And the reason of sealed class in JDK is actually to maintain the architecture across the module. So I know I have been using it for kind of saying, okay, this only this kind of part class may kind of inherit it, yeah. But in Kotlin, as you said, it's very free. Yeah. And you can nicely override it, which is not helpful at the end. But someone trying push, this is what I'm saying. Like, even when someone complains that the Java is restrictive about, it may, if you use my proposed, don't repeat it yourself, and kind of maintain a good naming, it may create exactly the discussion by actually hitting the limits of the features. Yeah, and there are so someone who created, right, to make this sealed and not kind of exposed to the rest of the world, he has some idea behind it. It may not be documented with proper naming. It can get out of the code. Without the proper naming, you need to find that one and hope he doesn't left. He didn't left yet. In COBOL, we had the different problems. But no, then, yeah, well, during my experience, so with the COBOL, so I mean, it was nice when the engineer was still there. Most of the time, not. We getting old, right? And it was very challenging, but we had no problem when we had not such kind of way to test it. There was a Chuck Norris all the time present. So which we luckily don't have it right now because we are under JVM, and we can, due to the actually JVM technology and the fact that the code is every time compiled to the machine code. we can put the breakpoints, yeah, and kind of figure out what is happening there. Okay, I know I haven't. We can have a discussion with Borges, my colleague. So if a particular case, which I cannot discuss right now. Okay, next question.
Just one question. You showed a lot of pattern names,
Mm-hmm.
and I recognize most of them from the Gang of Four book. Are there any more patterns in it, or did you
There are some more.
Yeah, there are
Yeah,
more.
there are more.
In Gang of 4, they are just around 20.
21.
Yeah, 21, right? Yeah, and here I have a 42 in the book. And
Oh, it's in the book.
yes,
Ah, okay.
and I have it in the
okay.
book. And actually, what I did, I put the references into the JDK when we used the implementation and patterns. So because actually, I put some examples like an easy one to figure out, but I put the references into the real code that you have available for you when you're using the
It's not in the
JDK.
book.
Yeah, and you can they are now, but there are you know you can kind of figure out by tracking the usage how actually it's implemented. And the best example, if you have some very advanced, because JDK is already advanced compared to the example I created, right? So you may get some feeling where you can go with this pattern. And actually what I did, I created also the Git repository, which is here. Okay, go here, thank you. At the end, oh well, I'm doing the wrong direction, right? So, wow, so many slides I have. So, wow, still here in Amazon, and there is a Git repository where you can run from the command line the patterns. So basically, there is a how you execute. You need just version on it, yeah. You execute it, and the reason why I simplified it only in the pure Java is that user don't get disturbed by the additional technology, yeah, which is then required. You can play, you can connect. Everything in my book is motivated by the automotive industry. So you start from the building the car to adding the sensors to starting up the engine, to correcting, extending the engine, changing the internals from the car, and so on. So I figure out that this kind of story of building the car is very nice in Munich, right? Not but in Munich, I think for everyone can kind of get the idea how car looks like, right? And we know that it has a steering wheel, right? And most often that is a normal car that has 4 wheels. So okay, that's the driven idea, and around this idea is all these design patterns built, and all they use are in the JDK. So, and I hope it's helpful. And again, I really wrote it that it could be read also by managers that can get a nice contact with the actual guys who doing work and they do the code. Yeah. I hope it answered your question.
Yeah, sure.
Yes, any other question? Thank you for asking. I will give you to something what I have left. Oh,
So
yeah.
So this book is written by keeping Java 21 in mind. Like
Yes.
okay.
So
Perfect.
they are all features.
Wonderful.
Yes, because I've been thinking, okay, we have enough like a blog post about patterns, or sometimes many blog posts how to use even the old version of Java to create some pattern. Actually, the fact is that the original Django 4 books is written in C and Haskell, right?
C++. Yeah.
And Haskell. So,
Haskell also.
oh no. Smalltalk, Smalltalk, which is not JVM language. So that means there is not a book really written for JVM. And I started to like there are many books from different perspective taken.
Yeah.
But I try to get from the platform what it actually platform is, to get the idea what is platform itself doing for you, why it is so good to the JVM, where there's nothing like a JVM out there, because of this JIT compilation, where the data are coming from, that I'm able to show the charts with the garbage collections. Yeah, what is the garbage collection algorithms and doing, and how they fit to the idea of JVM. So, I mean, this I identified that some of the team members, when I have been missing, although they have been doing the Java for many years, it turns into some particular discussion becomes to be obstacle, yeah, to not having the same wave, yeah. So this is why I put everything there. So, okay, I hope it's answered question. If you have any other question, feel free to ask. Anyone else? Go ahead.
What's the main motivation for writing this book?
Okay, so for many years, I've been doing at work. So I've been working on Java with the Java team, and I have been actually from the Java 5 basically writing some design patterns how I should actually. I love coding. Yeah, I love architecture. I love the code architecture. How I love also the hardware, the low level APIs from Java. I love the foreign memory feature, which is hopefully coming next release, which fixed a lot of Gen I obstacles. Yeah, so but the thing is, I have been kind of over the years, like 20 years, trying to do this, like how I can handle this feature, how I can properly upsell. So I have a lot of code on my different kind of version, Java version, and how to realize. Of course, I read the Django 4, and I tried also to write these patterns in Python and Scala, and also C and COBOL. Yeah, because it turned into that it was useful when I had a team that's working on it, and we found the communication how we can kind of address some issues, and especially when I was working with data scientists, and they all loved this at the beginning Scala, then Python, and then we turned into that. Yeah, it was for a while have been not able to deliver any results of some reason. Yeah, well, so that was the motivation, actually, to give the community something back what community gave me, the all amazing people I met during my career. So I feel like it's a right moment right now when the Java will be out there and kind of give us the superpower, like Java fans. Okay, was it good?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah?
I have a question. Like you said, like you did this, these design patterns by yourself. Some of them. Like, did you check if there are already these design patterns online?
Oh, okay. So actually, you have many resources. They are already even some kind of scientist articles about the naming. I didn't name those design patterns by myself. Yeah, some of those has been introduced by the publication by IEEE by doing this, and many of those actually are from different perspectives published. You can be found on the internet also. So I put, there are way more than 100 design patterns to be clear that you can have on JVM. I just selected 42 out of them, which I really needed from my work to achieving the goal and to maintain the teams and the minds, sharp minds for our team members. So this is and I selected 13 anti-patterns, and these numbers are just really like accident. I didn't intend to. Yeah, really, not like really. I counted it after the book has been published, so I didn't know it that it's that number. Don't know why 42 needs to be everywhere. Or 13, like I don't know. I didn't count it. I just put it there, what I thought that is required. Okay, did I answer your question? Okay, so what is the advantage of this? You have here in this book collections with the Git repository on it, free of the Maven or Gradle or whatever. That you can just need the Java, and you run it and you go it, and you can play with it around, and you can use the favorite Vim if you are a hardcore, or just Visual Studio. Okay, any other question?
Can we get the slides somehow?
Yeah, I will publish them on LinkedIn. We share. How do you publish it? Yeah, of course. And it will be on my LinkedIn profile. If you have your LinkedIn profile faces, I do remember all of you. Just kidding. No. No. But you get familiar. Okay. Sorry. I am. My wife was pinging me. This is no. Just kidding. Any other question? Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Miro, for coming.
Yeah. Thank you. It's my pleasure.